Hey everyone, CPO here, and in this video I'm going to be doing a rear diffuser install from CJM Industries, and it's going to be on my 2019 Golf R. So this is a Beri-Backer design. I don't know if you knew this, but CJM acquired Beri-Backer, so now it's CJM Industries, designed by Beri-Backer. Here's what's in the box. We have our instructions with some supplemental images. We have the diffuser base plates. We have the fins specific for my choice. There are 4 options that you can choose from CJM Industries. And then I have the side spats. Also a cool sticker and of course the hardware. Do yourself a favor, make sure all the hardware is there before you start, because if something's missing, you want to make sure you know that ahead of time. So in prep for the vehicle, I do have it jacked up, but I'm not going to actually take off the tires. There's 325 Torx screws that we're going to get to, and I can get to them fine with these low profile Torx bits. Inside, once you get that liner removed, you'll see there are 2 more screws here that hold the clip for the valance on. That's just going to come off, and see how it sandwiches these 2 pieces together. Yeah, that's its job. On my car, I have this little clip here that I'm going to pull apart and separate. That will allow me easier access for the side spats. First, we're going to work on the center diffuser part. For my particular car, the base plate comes in 2 pieces. And again, I have these version 4 fins. There are 4 different versions you can choose from. And the cool thing is you can change fin style if you decide you want to later on down the road. You want to get more aggressive or more subtle or just a different look. You can go to CJM Industries website and change it up. All right, so these are going to click into place just like that. And then we have the smaller base plate section that's going to get screwed in. Now, depending on which vehicle you have, your diffuser may look a little bit different. So this is specific to a Mark 7.5R. So these screws are going to hold the fins to the small base plate. And I'm using thread lock because that's sort of my default. I'm told it's not required here, but I just like to use thread lock for things that I want to stay in place. If you do use thread lock, don't get crazy with it, just a little bit to make sure that when you tighten these things down, and they don't have to be tightened down too tightly, that they'll just stay in place and not vibrate loose. All right, so here's the completed diffuser assembly. And then what we're gonna do is just go hang that. It literally will clip onto the existing diffuser on the Golf R. Just like that. And quite frankly, even self-centered, you can see how the new diffuser locks in around the diffuser slats from the factory. So yeah, I'm just taking a quick look to make sure everything looks nice and centered. You can see I do have a little bit of wiggle room fore and aft, and what I want to do is make sure that those screw holes are lined up between the small and the large base plate. Just cheating and using the back end of my drill bit to make sure they're aligned before I drill the 2 center holes. This is with a 1/4 inch drill bit, and it doesn't take a lot to get through the plastic. The factory valance is pretty thin, and then using 2 of the bolts to get that locked into place, and you have easy access. At least, I don't know if your muffler's in the way, mine isn't, but I have easy access to get to the top of that. Once that's done, I can go through and drill out the rest of those holes. And then after that, I can go through and attach all of the hardware. Again, just getting everything nice and snug. These are nylock nuts on these, so no need for thread lock or anything like that. Now for the side spats. It's a 2-piece design on this particular car, and it's going to fit in just like that. Make sure that the countersink hole is forward and then down. And once you have it sort of locked into that corner, you can drill out that hole. Again, we're still with a 1/4 inch drill bit. Then add the hardware to hold it in place. This is where removing that clip earlier comes in handy, and you can see how that makes it easier to get to that top nut. Once you've done that, you can actually re-clip that section together because you no longer need access above there. Now we're drilling our second hole, and then that's going to allow us to add in the bolt. This is the longer bolt and the spacer for the second half of the side spat. And then the nut goes on top. And when you do this, make sure that the countersunk holes are pointing down. These are side specific. This is what it looks like once you get that bottom slat done. Make sure that the front corner is lined up. We move to a smaller drill bit. This is a 3/16 inch drill bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and drill a hole, being careful not to go through the outside of this valance or all the way through, and tighten down the hardware on the first one before I drill the second one. That way I ensure everything stays nice and lined up. Make sure all of your hardware is nice and snug, and then you can start putting things back together. If you did not reassemble that clipped section beforehand, now's a good time to do that. And then the clip that holds the two sections together. Now, depending on your car, particularly on my car, it didn't go back in without notching that. So what I did is I put it into place. I just made a mark with a Sharpie and then used a Dremel grind wheel just to grind a couple slots in there so that it will fit around that new hardware. Not every vehicle is probably going to have to deal with this, but mine did. So, don't be surprised, and maybe you're lucky and you don't have to worry about it. Then it's just going to clip into place where it was before, holding those two sections. And then if you did a good job making the cutouts, they should fit right over the bolt hardware. Now you can re-add your two screws from the top. Again, these are T25 Torx. Then you can put your liner back together with the 3 screws. There's one down below, and then the 2 inside the wheel well. And then that's it. You go do the same exact thing on the other side. And guys, that is job complete. 2 side spats, center diffuser, looks amazing. Yeah, I'm super thrilled. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.